Let's start things off on a positive note and start with the good. This is honestly gonna be a weird segment for me just because I feel very weird talking about any accomplishments or achievements, but according to my therapist, it's important. So the first thing we got here, a journal entry. There's a lot of words here, but the big takeaway from that day on how I was feeling was peace. For the longest time, anytime I wasn't being productive or doing something related to work, I felt like I was procrastinating. I felt like I was avoiding some feelings. I talk about going to the movie theater specifically, and about 1/3 into the movie, I start getting that feeling where I'm anxious because I feel like I'm forgetting something. There's something I should be doing, but I don't remember what it is, and I start panicking a little bit. And slowly, as I think through, I realize that no, there isn't anything. I'm not going to the movies that day to escape from anything. And it honestly just felt like a giant weight off my shoulders. I knew it was early, but it at least felt like a small sign that maybe I had made the right decision. Okay, so for the next one, so this is one of the best experiences I had all year, honestly. I actually think this is my first medal at anything ever. But pretty much right before quitting my job, I decided I was going to compete in my first ever bodybuilding competition. I'd been obsessed with fitness for years, but for whatever reason, I never thought that I'd be someone to step on stage and actually compete. And honestly, it came at the perfect timing because it was a moment in my life where I needed to feel like I could commit to something. I could be consistent with something. And at the end of the day, check something big off a bucket list. One less thing that I would regret not trying. And I ended up getting a medal for it, so it was really cool. Didn't win, but got a cool medal from it, so I'll take it. And it actually ties into the next one, which was the actual biggest thing to happen all year for me. It was actually my first viral video and the video that made me a YouTube partner and got me my first dollar earned on YouTube. And I know a viral video doesn't make a career and I still have a lot of work to do to get where I want to with this channel, but it definitely felt like, hey, here's a sign that this can work. You can make this work. You're not as crazy as you sometimes think you are. So yeah, it was really cool, really important for me. I went from around 169 subscribers to around 6,000 in the span of a couple of weeks. Growth has definitely slowed down since then, but it's a proof of concept that I can make it work. I can figure it out. Yeah, it's definitely one of the good. For the next one, okay. So staying in the theme of YouTube, we have this moment right here.
Okay. This was one of my favorite introductions over the weekend.
Hi Discord, I'm Joel, and I'm a relatively small YouTuber. I'm also an overthinker and a perfectionist, which is why I almost scrapped this video a million times. But it's also why I make fun videos where I try to inspire others to try new things by focusing on progress instead of perfection. I love talking storytelling, cinematography, thumbnails, mental health, and pretty much anything YouTube related. So I'm really looking forward to this new tribe we're building here. So right now, I gotta go back to recording that voiceover, but I'll see you guys on Discord.
That was awesome.
So this was actually two of my favorite YouTubers, Colin and Samir, actually gave me a little shout out on their channel. It was really cool. Nothing necessarily came of it. It's not like I gained a whole bunch of subscribers or views or anything like it, but it was again another one of those moments of, okay, keep going. Yeah, I was really hyped for a couple of days after this. It was really cool to remember. All right, so for the last of the goods, it's not another journal entry. This is actually like a guest scrapbook thing from my 30th birthday. I'm not going in the right order here, but stick with me. But a couple weeks after I decided to quit, I was turning 30. I don't know if it's coincidental, quarter life crisis or whatever, but it was my 30th birthday. I didn't have any plans. I usually, as I mentioned before, I struggle with celebrating myself and asking others to celebrate me. But my wife threw a surprise birthday party with all my friends and most of my family there. One of the most interesting things to me was I had just quit my job, and one of the things I was worried about was what people would think. What would I say when people ask me, like, what are you doing, or what are you going to do? And the funny thing was that nobody really cared, in a good way. They cared about me. They cared that I was happy. It didn't matter what I was doing, how much I was earning. The people around me just wanted to spend time with me. I don't know why I expected anything different, and even the opposite happened. I had some friends come up to me afterwards telling me that they actually decided to make a similar decision after they saw me and noticed that I was okay, or after hearing my reasoning and relating to my reasons. So yeah, definitely part of the good. All right, so that's it for the good. Now it's time for some of the bad. And honestly, I think this part is extremely important. Especially recently, it's become very easy to romanticize chasing your dreams and quitting your job, and to look back on it as this perfect decision that you made and everything afterwards just fell into place and it was like a movie. And the truth is that that is never the case. And it hasn't been the case for me this year. Despite there being a lot of good, the truth is there's also a lot of difficulties. There's a lot of bad. To represent one of them, we have this. Now this usually means a good thing, but for anyone creating YouTube videos or content out there, you'll know that it is the worst thing that can happen to you. And basically it just means you made a horrible video. Well, not exactly a horrible video, but it's the worst performing of your last 10 videos. So whenever you see this, existential dread follows. And the truth is, there hasn't been a day that I don't question my direction with this channel. Whether I should niche down into fitness content, whether I need to post weekly, take my time, quantity versus quality, or quality versus quantity. Should I post more shorts? Should I be posting on TikTok? Should I be posting on Instagram? Did the video flop because the thumbnail was horrible, or was it just the title? Or was the idea crap? It's a lot. And honestly, most of the time, it's so much more than just the filming or editing of these videos. Venturing out on your own isn't easy. It's not easier necessarily than a 9-to-5. There's a lot less structure involved, and you kind of have to figure out everything yourself. So still a work in progress there. So for this next one, I didn't really know what to use to represent it. So I just have a picture of me sitting by myself, looking at the computer. Basically what this represents is that it's been a lonely pursuit. I do all of the editing, scripting, filming, brainstorming, packaging, uploading by myself. It does occasionally get a bit lonely. There are moments where I wish I had someone to pitch ideas to and kind of go back and forth on things, but I'm not at that point right now. It also has its pros, as I'm allowed a lot of freedom and minimal interruptions when it comes to my work. And it's something I was used to in my 9-to-5 role anyways, because it was a pretty independent role as well. So it's not something completely new for me. It just sucks sometimes. So. And finally, for the time you've all been waiting for, the ugly, aka finances, which I know is typically one of those things that I'm most interested in when seeing these type of videos, and something I debated being fully transparent on. But again, when I watch these type of videos, I really appreciate when people are super transparent and go into detail. So I went and did the math, and trust me, there's not even that much math for me to do in the first place. My first year on YouTube, I made a total of $2,024.35. Now this is 100% from AdSense, and over 90% of this comes from that viral transformation video that I talked about earlier, which is currently around 450,000 views. Additionally, I've made $350 from odd jobs editing here and there and walking dogs on Rover. And that's about it when it comes to income, which I'm not gonna lie, has definitely been scary at times. I don't have any inheritance or rich parents, and I've been relying solely on the savings that I put together before quitting my job. And it was honestly one of the biggest fears I had before making this decision. And whether or not that lack of a paycheck every 15 days would completely paralyze me and prevent me from even getting into a mental space where I can thrive or create things. But honestly, it hasn't been the case. And it's kind of hard to describe. The best word for it might be delusional. But I have this irrational confidence in myself, and that things will find a way to work themselves out. And that's what's allowed me to keep pushing forward. I wish I could tell you that I budgeted everything perfectly and I'm following a specific financial plan down to a T, but that's not the truth. There's probably a more optimal way for me to have done this the past year. It honestly might have been smarter to get a part-time job or do contract work. And honestly, I'm not against that in the future at all. But I'm also allowing myself some slack. I endured a lot of discomfort to put myself in a position where I could pursue my dreams with a little bit of freedom, and recklessness. So I'm letting myself be okay with that. That's it for year 1. Hopefully for next year, I'll need a bigger box.